Right now, you are probably alone with a screen. Maybe a phone in your hand, maybe a laptop on your lap. Hundreds of people are one tap away from you. You could message any of them in seconds, and yet something in your chest still feels quiet, empty, unreached. You call this loneliness, and you probably think of it as a mood. A bad night, a passing feeling that will lift once you see your friends again. But the real answer is far stranger. Loneliness is not a mood. It is an alarm. It is one of the oldest survival systems your body has, built over millions of years, designed to do one job: keep you from dying alone. And right now, in a world more connected than any humans before you, that alarm is going off more than it ever has. Your brain does not know what a smartphone is. Your brain does not know what an apartment is, or a city of 8 million strangers, or a video call. Your brain only knows one thing for certain. For nearly all of human history, being alone meant being unprotected. Picture your ancestors 60,000 years ago. A small band, maybe 20 to 50 people, moving together across open land. No locks on doors, no emergency numbers, no walls between them and the dark. A person separated from that group was a person without a lookout, without help carrying water, without anyone to notice if a predator was circling closer. Alone meant exposed. And exposed again and again across thousands of generations meant dead before you could pass on your genes. So evolution did what it always does. It built a warning system, a felt sense of danger that switches on whenever you drift too far from your group. You feel it as sadness, as restlessness, as a tightness behind your ribs when you eat dinner by yourself for the third night in a row. But underneath that feeling is something older and colder. Underneath it is your body whispering, you are unprotected. Get back to the group. The neuroscientist John Cacioppo spent decades studying exactly this. He found that lonely brains do not simply feel different. They behave differently at a measurable physical level. In his research, socially isolated people showed elevated cortisol, the stress hormone your body releases when it senses threat. Their sleep fragmented into shorter, lighter cycles, the kind of sleep your body uses when it expects danger to interrupt the night. Cacioppo described loneliness the same way you would describe hunger or thirst. Not a personality trait, a biological signal demanding action. Think about that for a second. Hunger tells you that your body is low on fuel. Thirst tells you that your body is low on water. Loneliness tells you that your body is low on people. And just like hunger and thirst, ignoring the signal does not make it go away. It only gets louder. Here is where it gets stranger still. Loneliness does not just feel bad. It appears to physically wear down the body. Julianne Holt-Lunstad, a researcher who reviewed data from over 300,000 participants across dozens of studies, found that chronic social isolation was associated with a mortality risk comparable to smoking up to 15 cigarettes a day, comparable to obesity, comparable to physical inactivity. Read that again. Being chronically alone showed up in the data with a health cost similar to one of the most dangerous habits a human being can have. Why would isolation cost the body that much? Because your immune system was built for group life too. When your ancestors lived in close physical contact, constantly touching, grooming, sharing food, sleeping in piles for warmth, their bodies calibrated inflammation and immune response around that closeness. Isolation disrupts that calibration. Inflammation rises, wound healing slows. Stress hormones stay elevated for longer because the ancient alarm never gets the all-clear signal it is waiting for. The signal that says you are safe now, you are back with your people, and the size of your group matters more than you might expect. The anthropologist Robin Dunbar studied primate brain size against social group size and found a striking pattern. The bigger the social group an animal lives in, the bigger the brain region dedicated to tracking relationships. Humans, with our enormous neocortex, are built to track roughly 150 stable relationships. This became known as Dunbar's number. 150 people you could call your tribe. Your real, working social world. Now compare that to your phone. You might have 800 contacts, 2,000 followers, a group chat with 40 names in it that you have not opened in 3 days. Your brain sees all of this activity and registers something confusing. Noise that looks like connection but does not deliver the chemical reward of real connection. Scrolling past someone's vacation photos does not trigger the same neurological response as sitting across from them at dinner. Your ancient alarm system cannot tell the difference between being surrounded by people and being surrounded by their names. This is the cruel irony of the modern world. You can be more visible than any human in history and still feel completely unseen. You can have your loneliest year while answering more messages than your great-grandparents sent in their entire lives. So what is the alarm actually asking for? Not more contacts, not more notifications. It is asking for what your ancestors had by default and what you now have to build on purpose: eye contact, shared meals, physical presence in a room with someone who knows your name and your history, touch. Even something as small as a hug or a hand on a shoulder triggers the release of oxytocin, a hormone tied to bonding and trust. Your body still runs on this currency even if your calendar is full of video calls instead. There is a darker layer to this story too. Loneliness does not always look like solitude. You can sit in a packed office, surrounded by coworkers, and still feel the alarm ringing because the relationships around you lack depth. Quantity was never what the system was measuring. It was measuring belonging, being known, being missed if you did not show up. This is why loneliness has been called by some researchers a hidden epidemic. Not because people are physically more alone than past generations by simple head count. In many cases, they are surrounded by more people than ever, in denser cities with more digital contact available at any hour. But the quality of connection, the depth that the ancient brain is actually scanning for, has thinned. And the alarm cannot be fooled by quantity. It was built to detect closeness, not contact. Here is the modern mirror, and it might land closer to home than you expect. The next time you feel that low hum of loneliness on a Tuesday night, scrolling through a feed full of faces, consider what your body is actually telling you. It is not telling you that something is wrong with you. It is not telling you that you are broken or antisocial or failing at something everyone else has figured out. It is doing exactly what it was built to do, 60,000 years before screens existed. It is telling you that the group, your actual group, the small circle that knows you, feels too far away right now. And that signal, uncomfortable as it is, has a purpose. It is not a flaw in your design. It is one of the oldest and most reliable parts of it. The same ancient circuitry that once kept a band of early humans walking close together across an unforgiving landscape is still running quietly behind your ribs today. Still doing its one job, keeping you from being the one who gets left behind. So maybe the real question was never why loneliness hurts. Maybe the real question is what you are going to do tonight about the alarm that is still going off.